else would be a synonym for who this living being is? And I just gave you another one. This is the one that you asked about, the observer, the aware one. So what did you say?
God self?
Yeah, that's a good one. We could say that.
Higher self?
Let's say higher self, that's even better. Spirit. A lot of times people call this the spirit. I saw spirits, or my grandma came to me and it was her spirit. Not really. It was a body. No, it's not anymore.
Her spirit in her soul body.
Exactly. What else? The Hindus call it an Atma. Let's call it a individualized self. Let's call it also the objective self. The watcher. So there's three parts that it's important for us to understand, these three parts of our reality, and be able to sort between them, just in terms of ourselves, our own existence, so that we know what our lifestyle is serving, which in terms of proportions, who's getting the biggest proportion here? Each of us just has to review our own lifestyle to see who's getting the most attention here.
Spiritual.
That would be the ideal circumstance for us all. If we were most focused on our spiritual needs, because then these two have to fall in line with this. But if it's this serving these two, which is usually the case for most human beings, as we can see in the world, we may be in some trouble. And the world is in trouble. Look at the way human beings behave. War, starvation, the way we treat animals. Come on. This, in this world, is serving this. Now, yogis and yoginis and people that are really serious about getting spiritual, they want to turn the tables. And so it takes some serious discipline and some serious effort and even some sacrifice, but I can tell you that it's well worth it. Because I don't want to serve these two. These two are darn painful. Painful stuff happens. So I want to get these two to serve me. And that is not easy, because nature is very powerful. The urges, the desires are overwhelming sometimes. But it's time, if you're interested, to start really looking at those desires, looking at those urges, and trying to kind of get a little bit of core self spiritual distance from them, even in your own psyche, where you're saying, wow, look at that urge that exists in this creation, and I'm participating in it. It's pulling me into it over and over and over again. Well, maybe I want to pull these two into what this person wants to do. And so that's called meditation. And meditation is a very difficult thing to do and be successful at. We're going to talk about it more. Any questions so far? Does this make sense to you? Okay, so the one thing that I would really like to see people do is the one thing that I started doing about 2.5 years ago that changed my life. I had years and years of yoga practice under my belt, but nothing changed my life like morning meditation. I was required by my teacher to meditate in the early morning hours. I don't have to meditate for any certain amount of time. It's just getting up and doing some exercising and breathing, emptying that load of energy that you've even absorbed in your dreams, in the astral environment, breathing it out, doing some stretching, and then sitting down in meditation. Why at that time? it's such a struggle to get up at that time. And believe me, after 2.5 years, it's still not easy for me to get up, but it's still changed my life for the better. I've gained way more insight. I've appreciated this magical time of day. I've learned about myself. I've made some contacts with, teachers and guides and made progress with my meditation. But do you know what I've had to do to change my lifestyle in order to get up? I can't just go to bed at 12 o'clock. I can't have Domino's pizza, at 10 o'clock at night. I can't go party with my girlfriend and have a bottle of wine. You know what I mean? It's like I had to decide that I was going to do this. And I want to do it for my teacher because I believe in him and I believe in the practice, and so I did it. So what kinds of things did I have to change? Now, I'm not saying that you have to do this, but I do recommend it. Eventually, you could pick a different part of the day at this time in your life. If you wanted to do it at noon, or if you wanted to do it at dusk. There's another opportunity at dusk to kind of have that same magical transition power that we have when the atmosphere changes from either night to day or day to night. You have that second opportunity, so that could be your time, to begin. But certain factors I had to really take into consideration, and I encourage you to take into consideration in terms of your lifestyle. So let's start with food, since that's kind of like our number one thing. To serve my morning meditation practice, I have to eat my main meal early in the day so that I'm not mid-digestion at about 4 a.m. And I get that nourishment in my body and in my system to support me through the rest of the day. What I used to do is I would get up at a normal hour, like people do, maybe between 7 and 9 or something like that, and I would starve myself until I was hungry. I thought that was a good idea. I'll just run on the energy that I have during sleep, and then when I'm completely famished, then I will eat. But I wasn't making very good decisions by that time about what I was eating. It wasn't really even me making the decision. These two make the decision. I find myself with a bag of chips, or something like that, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's these guys that are, getting me. So I changed the time of day that I have my main meal. And so I eat that main meal between the hours of like 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. And it's a certain type of meal. I've actually given the workshop, it's called Kundalini Cooking Class, where I make that meal with you in the kitchen over there. So if you're ever interested in doing that, we can do that again. Okay, it's a very complete meal, very easily digestible, whole organic foods cooked in a certain way. It's really easy because I'm not a cook. I don't like to cook.
What do you call it, Kundalini?
The class that I give on the cooking is called Kundalini Cooking. It's a kind of a yogi meal.
There's when you say that, is there any meat involved in this cooking or
No.
not? It's all, and you eat between what and what time?
8 and 10.
8 and 10 in the morning?
Yeah. Now you don't have to do it, but I'm just giving you an example of my own application. You could make it at a different time, but the point is to not eat late. That's the only requirement, and that's the hardest part too. We all like to eat late at night. I like to eat while we're watching TV or whatever on the internet. But it's really difficult to sit and meditate at 4 a.m. when your tummy is growling.
Well, like what time would you close the kitchen?
I wouldn't eat it ideally after like 6, 7, the latest. That's not easy. And that's usually something that people don't like to hear. You got it? You're okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's not fun, right?
Well, I use 8 o'clock now.
And then if you're going to eat, if you're just like, I gotta have a snack, have something that's easy for your body to digest. Don't have the pizza, have like an apple or apples or some easily digestible crackers or, just smart things that your body isn't gonna have to work real hard during sleep to digest. So, it's good to be routine. This lifestyle is about routine. It's not about being boring. You know, some people might think that my lifestyle is really boring, but to me, it's energizing and it's wonderful, and it helps me to develop this person instead of continuously developing these people. You know, so for me, it's not boring. It's I like routine. I can adjust and stuff if I have to, but if I have the opportunity, I do like
So
that.
far, what you said isn't that far
Okay.
crazy, because
Yeah.
most people eat breakfast between 8 and 10.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
You're just
also
saying-
what you eat too.
Okay.
You know, we want to get those vegetables in, carrots, potatoes. I mean, the meal that I make in the morning is carrots, potatoes, usually like some broccoli or green beans. This is all cooked kind of in layers, and then greens on top, like kale or mustard greens or that kind of stuff. You put some herbs on top, cilantro, parsley, that kind of stuff. And it's kind of steamed. The whole thing is steamed. And then I eat like a whole avocado or two every day. I have at least a half an avocado with that meal. Maybe some bread.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a big
What
meal.
would you say about having protein shakes? Because I have those. Not always, but
Mhm.
sometimes. I mean, it seems to give me some energy.
Mhm.
No meat,
Mhm.
but the protein shake, that type of.
Yeah, the protein shakes are good, and some people really respond well to that morning shake. The thing about the shake is that it combines the food and it makes it into that one shake unit, and your body doesn't register that it's gotten this and that and this and that. The body
Oh, I
needs to
see.
feel it in the mouth, chew it, and know what it. All of this is messages. You know what I mean? That's going to the brain. I ate that. I ate the carrots. I saw it. I chewed it. I saw the color. So we see everything in the bowl. It's a psychological thing that we're helping. We're trying to get this to serve this, and so we're psychologically respecting the fact that the body needs to have this texture in the mouth. It needs to chew. It needs to have that experience to register that I got what I needed. Now I can just be quiet. If it doesn't register that it's got what it's needed, it might desire something else to try to get it. Even if you've had the shake, even if the nutrition is there, psychologically, it hasn't experienced what it wants to experience to get the fulfillment. So we're trying to work with the body to sort of give it fulfillment. We're not trying to deprive ourselves. I mean, some things we do deprive ourselves of. You know, I really do try to deprive myself of refined sugar, and things like that. But we're not trying to like starve ourselves or, go overboard here, but we are trying to work with the body in terms of its needs. And one of the things it needs is texture and chewing and seeing and the color and all that stuff. Okay? So it's just good to decide on a time to eat. A time that you're going to eat that main meal. And then on the other side of that meal, you could have some, have some snacks. Have some smart snacks, some bananas, some bread, some, anything that's healthy for you, some fruits and easily digestible things. But you've got that one meal down. It's at a certain time, so you know when it's at. And you can plan for it. Cleaning. This is one I don't know much about because I don't like to do it and I haven't really figured out a system, so it is important though, and I'm working with myself to try to have some kind of system. I work with the products that I use. I use a lot of vinegar to clean, and I try to get away from too many chemical products that might...
Well, this is cleaning the house.
Huh?
You're cleaning the house.
Yeah.
Not the body.
Yeah, we're talking about cleaning the house.
Okay.
Actual cleaning of our environment that we live in, that we're practicing in, trying to create this spiritual vibe in. So it's good to just acknowledge, I'm not going to give you too much advice on this except to try to move away from too many of the chemical products that can bother us, bother the brain, give us headaches, cause us to become dull. Be careful of the ingredients in your products, and there's so many products now, and we can even make our own that are healthy and aren't going to bother us in terms of our meditation. Okay, so cleaning the body, or just us, the makeup, using products that are healthy for your body, healthy for the environment, healthy for